everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my everyday makeup drawer from January review, together with what items I'm going to put in my everyday makeup drawer for February. I am going to be switching quite a lot of it out because I am really enjoying the way that I've set this up, and that this is the only thing I reach for when I put my makeup on of a morning. And it's actually been quite nice to have a bit more of a compact makeup collection, as it were. So let's get started. I'll go with the foundations first. And these were the two foundations that I put in here. After wearing both of these a good few times, I think that this one is too light for me. And I'm kind of glad that I did put this in for January, which is probably the month I'm at my palest. So it's a good time to test it. Not a bad foundation, it's just not the best shade for me. Shade Porcelain, which I'm usually ivory in most foundations, so I can understand why it is a bit too light. And then we have this Rimmel one, which I'm in the shade Ivory for. This is a really nice foundation. I'm really enjoying using this, so I think I'm going to keep this in here. Onto the primer, and this is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. If I'm honest, I did forget to reach for this on a few occasions, so I don't think I've given it a fair go. I'm going to put this back in for February's drawer. Then for eye primer is the Milani eyeshadow primer, which is one of my favourite eyeshadow primers, so I'm going to keep this one in for February as well, because I don't think I've got an awful lot left. And concealers, my main go-to one is the YSL Touche Eclat, and I'm in the shade 1. I feel like this is the perfect tone for helping cover the darkness of my under eye circles. I wear this every single day, so this is definitely staying in the drawer for February. Then same with my eyebrow pencil. This is the Benefit Goof Proof pencil, and I am in the shade 3. This is probably the second thing I put on after the YSL concealer, and if I could only wear two products to go outside with, it'd be these two. So this one is definitely staying in for February's drawer. The other concealer that I have is the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer. This is the one that I used to wear under my eyes before finding the YSL one. So I now just use this for blemishes, as I have ran out of the Barry M Flawless Light concealer, I think it was called, and I can't seem to find it anywhere, especially in my shade. So I don't know if they are discontinuing that. So I'm having to reach for this to cover my blemishes. I do think it is getting on its last legs, so I think I'm going to take this out and possibly bin this one now. I do have another one in my backup drawer, but I was kind of scraping at this towards the end, so I'm going to take this one out. Onto setting powders, and this is the e.l.f. Under Eye HD setting powder. This is the one that I do use under my eyes every day to set the YSL concealer, and I am trying to finish this as it is in my project pan, so I'm definitely going to keep this one in for February. Then we have the Laura Mercier setting powder. This is obviously just the small sample size. I have been using this to set the rest of my face, and I'm a bit on the fence with it because I do think I like it, but because of the size of it and how hard it is to get the actual contents out of the holes into the lid's not that big to be able to swirl it around. I don't think I'm giving it good enough of a go. So I think I'm going to keep it in for the next month, but then I need to make the decision whether to buy the full size or not. Then I'll go through the face products. So here we have the L'Oreal True Match setting powder. I did reach for this a couple of times, but I think reaching for this made me not reach for the Laura Mercier one. So I'm actually going to take this one out just so I'll reach for that Laura Mercier one a bit more. Highlighter wise, we have the Balm Mary Luminizer and the Wet n Wild Mega Glow. I'm going to keep both of these in because this is my everyday highlighter, and I am making a bit of a dent in it, which I am very pleased with. But this is just the right amount of highlight to wear for work, where it's quite subtle but still gives me a little bit of a glow, so definitely keeping that in. And then this is my more intense highlighter for filming videos and if I go out. So I'm going to keep this one in as well because it is just the right amount of extra glow that I like. The bronzer we have in here is the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer, and I have been really enjoying using this. But I do have another one that I want to put in for next month because I do kind of want to alternate using them. They just don't seem to be going down at all, considering they are small size pans as well. But if I'm honest, I don't overly reach for bronzer an awful lot, especially not on a day-to-day basis. It's not one of my kind of steps, but I do want to incorporate it a bit more to get rid of my ghostly complexion. Forgot about another concealer, and this is the Benefit Boing concealer. I put it at the back there because it fitted really nicely, and it also meant that I forgot to reach for it an awful lot. I think in the whole month I probably only reached for it once or twice. So I'm going to put it back in for February, but if I don't use it up, I'm going to bin it because it's been open and it is only a sample. And I'm also going to take it as a sign that I don't overly love it, so don't need to purchase the full size. Blush wise, we have two Tarte Amazonian clay blushes. This is Harmony and this is Ornate. This is my favourite blush formula and I really do love these two shades. This is my everyday one, and I think I'm about to hit pan on it because I can just see the bottom of the metal peeking through there. So I'm definitely keeping this in because I'm determined to hit pan on this one. As for this one, this is when I do want a bit more of a brighter blush, not my everyday kind of look. So again, I'm going to keep this one in here because I do really like this shade, even though it is a bit brighter. A couple of eyeliners. We have the Tarte Man-Eater eyeliner, and I think this one has basically finished now. I've got to the very end of it, but to be fair, for the small size of it, these do last a really long time. I also like the way I can get closer to the mirror with it, but I think this one is starting to dry out now, so I'm going to take this one out. And then we have the Milani Stay Put eyeliner. This is the one that I wear in my waterline. I was reaching for it a lot at the beginning of the month, but towards the end of the month I actually had an issue with one of my eyes, so I couldn't actually for a few days wear any makeup at all. But I was told to avoid things that would dry my eye out in any way, and that included putting anything in my waterline and also wearing mascara. But now my eye seems to be better. I am still going to be a bit careful, but I think I'll keep this in here because I do like putting this in my lower lash line every so often. Then on to eyeshadow palettes. This is the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I do really love the shades in this palette, more than I thought I would. But if I'm honest, I haven't reached for it an awful lot because it is not your kind of day-to-day look, and I haven't had much opportunity to wear these kind of shades this month. So I think I am going to take it out, but it's a great palette. Then we have the BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette. And this is another one that is a recent purchase, but I do really love using. I have noticed that now I'm getting a bit deeper into the shimmer shades here. They are causing a bit more fallout. When I first started using them and the pans were kind of fresh, there wasn't much fallout, but now as they're getting looser, as they're being used, there is a bit more fallout than there was at the beginning. Not a major issue, easy enough to brush away, but just something I thought I'd mention because I think I said it when I first reviewed it that there wasn't any fallout, but there is a little bit that does need brushing away. But I love the array of shades in this palette. You've got your day-to-day brown shade, you've also got your little pops of colour as well, so it is a great go-to palette. I'm going to take this one out for February as well. The final palette is the Jaclyn Hill palette, and this was one that I put in here because I felt like it needed more love, and I have grown to love it that little bit more. Out of the three palettes that I had in here, this was probably the one that I was reaching for on a daily basis because this was kind of my area of comfort, especially for just a general work look. Out of the three palettes, this was definitely the most used. Didn't use any of these four shades and probably didn't use these kind of ones here, but other than that I did have a fair go on quite a lot of the shades in here. I probably didn't use this whole bottom row actually, but say other than that I had a good fair go on most of the shades, and my opinion of this palette has improved. Do still kind of regret purchasing it because I have tried cheaper palettes since that I've liked more. I was going to keep this one in, but I think I'm going to take it out for now. Now that I know I like it a bit more, I don't feel as guilty taking it out. And mascaras. So we had these three mascaras. The Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume, the NARS Climax, and the Essence Lashes of the Day. The NARS one was put in here because this was one that I was disappointed with, and I still don't love it, but it's definitely not the worst mascara I've ever tried. It's just not great in my opinion, it just doesn't do what I want it to do, and I think I need to put this back in for February, otherwise it's not going to get any love again because I'm just going to put it to one side and forget all about it. So I'm going to stick this one back in for February to make me use it. And then for these two, I think this one is on its last legs. It was getting very goopy and clumpy towards the end of me using it. and it wasn't as good as it used to be, so I think this one is kind of coming up to the point where it should be put in the bin, so I'm going to take this one out, and I say probably bin this one. And then we have this one, which I'm going to take out for the month of February, but I think it's still got a bit of life left in it, and it is one of my favourite mascaras, and because it's from the brand Essence, it's so affordable. I do have another one of these in my backup drawer ready to go already, even though I was supposed to be having a no buy in January. But I think I'm probably going to do a video in the next week, possibly film in the next few days, of products that I bought during my no buy, and I might do a little giveaway in there. I'm just going to have a look at what makeup items I have that I could do in a giveaway, so stay tuned for that one. And then finally, the lip products. As you will have seen from my lipstick declutter that went up the other day, I do have a rather large lipstick collection, so actually only having 5 to reach for was kind of great. So all of these I am actually going to take out because I just want to put new ones in for next month, because that's probably one of the best things to pick my new lipsticks. But I will run through my thoughts on these. Really like the Huda Beauty. I think I stuck this in because it was a relatively new lipstick to my collection and I hadn't given it a fair try. Really nice formula, really nice shade. Would like to try more from this range once I've got my collection down a bit further. Even though I didn't do too badly with the declutter, I still want to get it down a bit further before I buy new high-end lipsticks especially. And then we have this Pixie one, which was in the shade Evening Rose. Sorry, that Huda one was in the shade Venus. This was one that I wasn't a massive fan of. It's still not one of my favourite lipsticks, but my opinion of it has slightly improved. It is really long wearing and it is in a really nice shade. I think one of my main issues is just the applicator puts me off because it is so bent, and I do have a bit of an issue with it in that respect. But it's not a bad lipstick, so I definitely don't regret purchasing it as much as I first did. And then we have a Colourpop Luxe lip in the shade Still Crazy. Absolutely love this formula, love how long lasting they are, and have recently purchased a couple more of the Luxe lipsticks. Again, I was supposed to be on no buy for the month of January, majorly failed. And then there's this Tarte Lippy Lingerie, which is slightly lighter than the packaging would lead you to believe. This is a really nice, comfortable formula. I think it says it's a matte tint, but I don't feel like it is drying in any way for a matte tint. But really nice shade, really long lasting, and glad I got to try this formula. And then finally we have the Dose of Colours, and this is in the shade Truffle. It did have a sticker at the bottom, but it's fallen off. I love this formula. It has become one of my favourite liquid lipstick formulas, and I do want to purchase the full size of this shade, especially Stone, but not for now. Again, I'm trying to avoid any new purchases of any high-end liquid lipsticks until I've got my collection down. So I'm just going to stick the items back in here that I'm carrying over into the month of February. Okay, and now to stick in the new items. So I will start again with foundation, and here we have the Flower Beauty Light Illusion foundation. I have got this in the shade Porcelain. I know I said the e.l.f. one was too light, but this is only a recent release in the UK. It has just come to Superdrug, and because I am normally the shade Ivory, this foundation does come in the shade Ivory, but for some reason Superdrug don't have all the shades and they've kind of gone for alternate ones. So this is L1, they also have L3 Nude, and I actually managed to find these in store and swatch them. I think this was a better match for me than Nude. It is a little bit too light, but I was only swatching it on the back of my hand, so I really want to give this a go. But I've literally purchased this in the last week or so, so I haven't actually even broke the seal on it yet, so really excited to try this. And then we have the Revolution Conceal and Define foundation, and I'm in the shade F4. Wanted to give it a go, even though I hadn't been a massive fan of the concealer, but so many people were saying about how great this foundation is, and I do really enjoy using it. I just have to make a note to use a hydrating primer with it, because if I don't, I do get those dry patches on my forehead. But provided I use a hydrating primer, it looks pretty good and lasts well throughout the course of the day. So I know I'm having 3 foundations in here, But my theory is, because this one's brand new, if it doesn't work at all, I've got this one to fall back on. Even though I'm leaving the e.l.f. primer in, when I purchased the Flower Beauty foundation, I did also pick up their hydrating primer, because I know that was the kind of thing that I needed, and I've been wanting to try as many things as I can from Flower Beauty. So thought I would give this one a try. Just realised I put this bronzer back in when I was taking that one out, because I wanted to put in the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I got the, I think it was called the Blush Bunch gift set for Christmas off my husband, which I haven't even opened yet because it's all blushes and bronzers that are this size. But I want to get a bit further into this one before I open that one up, because that one contains another Hoola bronzer. So I wanted to give this one a bit more love. Concealer wise, I'm putting in the Catrice Liquid Camouflage. This is to replace the collection one, and I do predominantly want to wear it for my blemishes, but it does say high coverage, so I might give that one a go on my under eyes as well. I think I've tried this once since I purchased it, so that's why I'm putting it in here, just to make me use it, because I keep reaching for the ones that I know and love rather than properly testing out this new one. Eyeliner wise, to replace the Man-Eater, I'm putting in the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. This is probably my second favourite eyeliner after the Man-Eater, and it's obviously half the price, I believe, as well. So really want to give this one another go before it dries out, because I have already been using this one. Mascaras, I wanted to stick to the 3 mascaras, so I'm keeping the NARS Climax one. With it, I want to put in the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. I've had this one for quite a while now, and it's probably coming towards the end of its life, but I don't reach for it because I didn't enjoy it. So putting it in here will make me use it. It was okay for every day, I just didn't feel like it did very much, and I felt it was a little bit clumpy. But I say putting it in here will make me give it another fair shot, because this will probably need to be binned at the end of the month. And then for when I want a more dramatic look, I'm going to stick in my go-to Benefit Bad Girl Bang mascara. This is another one that has been open for a while, so I do need to get my last uses out of this before this needs to go in the bin. But this is one of my favourite mascaras, especially when I want a bit more of a dramatic lash. And this month I'm going to put in a setting spray, and the one I'm going to use is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This is a really good setting spray. I just can't bear the smell of it. I know it disperses after a while once it's on your face, but I just hate that initial application because I just can't bear the smell. And I don't end up putting on setting spray because I don't like the smell. So I'm putting it here to make me use it more. On to eyeshadow palettes. This one I want to include is the Revolution Emily Edit, the Once palette. This is one that I really loved when I first purchased it, and I was using it quite a lot because I was doing a review for it, so I was using it every single day. Since then, I've bought so many new palettes. I haven't given this one the love it deserves, and for the price that it was, I do think it is a really good budget eyeshadow palette, especially for the amount of shades that you get. I really love the colour story. This is one of those palettes that kind of inspires me every time I open it. Really keen to break into this one again, and this is probably going to be my kind of go-to everyday palette, but then it's got the pops of colour in if I need it. I just definitely need to remember to put this on with it, because otherwise it doesn't last the longest. Next palette is the Tartelette Tease palette, obviously from Tarte Cosmetics. This is one that I reach for a lot for travel, but every so often, especially if I'm really tired of a morning, I just don't want to think about an eye look, and this is perfect. I think the issue I had last time, even though I was enjoying using the Jaclyn Hill palette, I had to think about what I was doing each morning, whereas this, 6 different shades, not much you can do with it, but really great shadows. So this is my kind of tired morning palette, so I thought I would put this in here. And then the final palette is yet another January purchase during my no-buy, and that is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I have had my eye on this for so long, since it first came out, but I just couldn't push the button in actually purchasing it. And this was probably the thing that actually broke my no-buy, because I seen that it was on sale, and then I also had a welcome code for the website that I purchased it from, and I think I paid not much more than £25 for it, which, considering it's normally £40, I thought was a really great price, and I couldn't pass it up. I've not actually tried it properly. I've, as you can see, swatched every single shade. I did put a picture up of the swatches on my Instagram. I've had a little play with it, but not really, so I thought if I put it in here, I'll actually give it a proper test, because I do want to get into a lot of these shades. I do think it looks like a great overall palette, and I just absolutely love the packaging. It's definitely more heavy than I thought it would be. I think from the pictures I thought it was cardboard packaging, but it is plastic and it is quite heavy. So I can imagine if you were using this for travel, it might bump up your weight in your suitcase a bit more, so kind of defeats the object. But just absolutely love all the pictures on the packaging and can't wait to fully test this one out. Then on to lipsticks. Last time I just had 5 in there because I wanted to have enough to have a different one for each day of my working week. This time I kind of couldn't really decide, so I've gone for 7 because that's a full week, even though I don't necessarily wear lipstick of a weekend. So I've gone for 3 liquid lips. The first one is this Sephora Collection Cream Lip Stain, and this is in the shade 23, which I think is called Marvellous Mauve, if I remember rightly. And because I really enjoyed wearing the Dose of Colours one, I wanted a mauvey one to kind of replace that. I really love the formula of these. I just wish I could get hold of them easier. So I kind of in one way don't want to use it up because it's not going to be easy to replace, but I do really love the colour and the formula, so I do want to use it, if that makes sense. Then we have the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lip, and this is in the shade Celebrity Skin. This was my favourite shade out of all of these liquid lipsticks that I had tried, but more recently I've been leaning towards the shade Gemini, so I haven't been reaching for this one an awful lot. I do have this in this full size one, but then I also have a mini size. I find unless you eat something majorly greasy, this does stand the test of time throughout the course of the day anyway, so you don't necessarily need to top it up, but I just wanted to put this one in here. We have yet another Flower Beauty product, and this is the 3rd thing that I bought from them, and this is one of their Miracle Matte lips, and I went for the shade Rosewood. And again, I love trying liquid lipsticks. I wanted to try a few things from Flower Beauty while I was there and could swatch the lipsticks. I thought I might as well give it a go. I think it was only £7.99, which isn't too bad of a price, so really excited to give this one a go. Also love the packaging on these. Then on to the bullet lipsticks I've chosen. The first one is one of the Smashbox Be Legendary lipsticks, and this is in the shade Primrose. I think this one's still in my project pan, but it has seen better days, but I just want to use more of it, and I haven't been reaching for it for a while. It is leaning slightly, as you can see, so I've got to be careful with it. I did used to have it in my handbag, but I think that didn't help with it because it was getting bashed around, so I have took it out. So I thought if I put it in my everyday makeup drawer, I'll use it a bit more and hopefully make a bit more of a dent on it to get it finished, because it is only a small lipstick, but still it's lasting forever. Got another mini lipstick in, and that is the Tarte Rum Punch. I think this is the Rainforest of the Sea collection. This is a really nice nude shade. I don't think it's as light on the lips as it looks in the bullet, but again, this is only a small lipstick, and I'd like to think I can make a good dent in this if I'm reaching for it a lot more. I do have like another 4 of these as well, but this is one of my favourite shades in that collection. I then decided to put in my Urban Decay Vice lipstick in the shade Stark Naked. This is one of the Comfort Mattes. I just did not like the formula of these lipsticks, and it's not a bad shade. I just found that even though it says Comfort Matte, it wasn't. I found it was very drying. I found that it also dragged on my lips quite a lot, so I didn't reach for this hardly at all, if ever. So I think if I put it in here, there's more chance that I will reach for it, and then if I'm not reaching for it and not enjoying it, I'll see if one of my friends wants it, because it is a waste because it's a high-end lipstick for me to not use it. And then the final product is another Sephora lipstick, and this is one of their Lip Stories, I think it is. Yeah, Lip Stories, and this is in shade 9. This is a matte formula as well, but this is so much more comfortable than the Urban Decay one. It's a really nice shade. It's not too dark on the lips, which I appreciate, and I also just love the packaging of these. I think each one of them's got a different image on it, which I think is really pretty. Again, I'm in the same situation of I love it, I don't want to use it up because I can't replace it, but this is the kind of shade that I only wear in the winter time, so I think when it goes past February I'm not likely to reach for it, so I do want to get some more wear out of it. So that is it for my everyday makeup drawer in review for January, together with what I've now chosen to put in my drawer for February. quite a few products here that I can't wait to try for the first time, some ones that I'm keen to give a bit more love, but generally I'm quite happy with the collection that I've put together. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.